take us to the beginning, because when you joined Safaricom, the company was going through a price war with other players, and the country was going through some tough times. How did you navigate that?
Well, it was scary at the beginning, because the price war had just started. Safaricom, we thought, was at the peak. And I remember Michael Joseph, who was the former CEO, said to me, he says, "I'm not sure if I were you, I would actually do this. I think that it can only go one way from here," which turned out to be not true.
Yeah, I mean, prices were going down 50%, 75%. I mean, this was a difficult time for you because it was the race to the bottom.
The week before I arrived in Kenya, one of our competitors slashed the price, and it dropped by as much as 75%. It pretended to be a race to the bottom. And of course, I had the distinct pleasure of announcing the first set of half-year results where, profit growth had declined. And I thought, crikey. But the good thing is that, I had a strong team. And we took the decision at the time that the race to the bottom was not a great race to be involved in. We had a strong brand, and so we leveraged the brand, and we put the price back up. And we explained to customers why we were putting the price back up, so we can continue to invest in the business and continue to drive the innovation, which, Safaricom had been famous for under Michael Joseph.
M-Pesa, I mean, that basically revolutionized the way that people transfer money, the way that people engage with transfers. But under your leadership, you've also put in more innovation, more products that people can engage with. I mean, now you've moved to savings and borrowing as well. So you've expanded on what was the initial idea of M-Pesa.
So something which a lot of people had been saying to us, and the board said to me, shouldn't we consider getting a banking license? And so we investigated getting a banking license and then concluded that that wasn't the right solution. The right solution was to partner with a bank. And that started us off on this whole concept of wanting to be the partner of choice rather than wanting to do everything ourselves.
People keep talking about how M-Pesa dominates the industry. I mean, 85% of all P2Ps occur within the M-Pesa system. There's concern that you are way too dominant within this space. How do you deal with the criticism?
I think you just have to keep doing what you know to be right. And so if you take the dominance debate for a moment, dominance in itself is not the problem. What would be the problem is if we abuse that dominance to kill the competition. And so we're very careful with everything we do. Our pricing always bears in mind that position that we are the leaders in the marketplace. We don't want to drive a price war, neither do we want to be predative in our pricing. So we just make sure that we do the right thing and let other people worry about the rest of it.
What would Safaricom look like in 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 years from now? I mean, are you a telecom company? Are you a financial services company? What would it look like? What would be the core business, do you think?
I think that's a really tough question, and it would be a tough question even if you say 10 years from now, because it's hard for us to anticipate. Would you have anticipated that probably most of your calls would be on a thing called WhatsApp only 3 or 4 years ago? So it's very tough. I don't think we'll be called a telecommunications company. I am positioning the company to become an essential platform to help people to get to their destination. And we use this analogy of not a platform but a raft, because the world is moving around us. The environment is changing constantly. And if we can provide that platform, that raft, to help them to get to where they want to get to, whether they be poor farmers or they be big corporates, then I think we'll continue to be relevant. And relevance is really important for us.
Let's bring it closer. I mean, 5 years from now, are you still going to be at the company?
I doubt
mean,
it.
do you want to stay on? What's the plan?
No, I doubt it. I think despite my youthful good looks, no, I think in 5 years' time it'll be led by someone else. And what we really hope is that we continue the legacy which was started by Michael, and we have leaders who have the same passion. And Michael had the same. If he was sitting here, you'd have the same passion. We hope that we would have a leader who had the same passion for making a transformative difference in the world. As we continue to build the institution in the company, so the leaders within the company are developing the same passion that the two CEOs have had.